Hi guys, welcome to Mustache Plates, and in this video I'll be showing you how to recreate this scene with a very simple setup. You see, recently I created this artwork, and after finishing it, I tried to simplify the whole texturing process, and the final result wasn't that far off from the original result. So let me show you how to recreate this. Before we start recreating anything, let me show you what is inside this scene. There is the main object, the wash tower, and other than that, there are a few 2D planes for all the environment effect. There are also some rocks and some staircase that are supporting the main object, but that's all, nothing more than that. So let's get on to the composition. So for my composition, I tried to keep it pretty basic. So let me just remove everything so I can show you much better. We can use our camera to show the compositional guides, the rule of third, and just using this guide, I'm just gonna put it right in the center block. Also, because I want the camera to be looking up to the main subject rather than looking straight forward, I'm gonna rotate it slightly above. And now there you go. As you can see, I just put it right in the center. So anything above below the 1/3 line is gonna be sea, and anything above that is just gonna be sky. So that's all for the compositional guide. Now let's get to the modeling. The modeling also is pretty simple. I've used a cylinder for the main tower, and then I have used some loop cuts here and there, resize them, scale them, so to get that kind of shape that I was looking for. You can get any kind of reference that you're looking for just to make sure that it looks something like a wash tower. Other than that, I have used a 2D plane for the water or the sea, and also the 2D planes for the background like a clouds or the birds that are flying around. There's not much modeling for that side. For the assets on the tower itself, I've used some of the tower parts itself and just duplicate them and then reshape them to look like just over the hanging wall, and also some insert here and there to look them like the windows. And I just used a cube to create this staircase. Pretty simple, nothing much. It's just extruding on and again and again, so that I have enough stairs or how many I want. For the rocks, I just actually use a asset that I have gotten from somewhere. I will try to link it where I got it from. But yeah, I just kept using the asset as it is, never changed anything at all. For the lightning, all I want from my lightning is just that I want to show a gradient of the lightning in my main tower. So I just want to show the brighter spot and all the way going down to the darker spot. So just want to angle lighting such a way that we can see the part where the light is shining and the highlight is very visible, and then while it's going away from it, it should show the darkest one. So I'm just going to take one sun lamp and give it a directional, rotate it in a direction that it can show. That's all I need for the lighting. I also did another point lamp because the lighting wasn't reaching all the way down, so I just added one more point lamp so that I can light up a bit more on the staircase. From the wall, just want to show that I don't really use much of the wall lighting, so it's always set to 0. I always just rely on the external lamps, being its sun or the point lamp. Now from the texturing, there are 3 types of texturing that I have used. One is just the gradient texturing that I have used in the world setting and also in the seas. Gradient texturing means I have done nothing much but applied a gradient. For the sea, I have tried applying a gradient of blue shade, so the darkest being closest to the camera, lightest towards the horizon. And I've done something similar for the world setting also. I've also created a gradient in that, and I also done similar shades of blue. So the lighter shade is at the horizon, and then the darker shade is going up in our scenario. So when we put these two together, and let me just remove and just put the water on the screen. Yeah, so you can see the lightest part is meeting at the horizon from both from the sea and in the world setting, like this. Another thing I did for the water is I have created a noise texture, so it will act like bumps in the river body, and I just multiplied them together. So when we see it from the camera angle, you can see that now the noise portion has gotten a bit darker and it looks much more like an actual water body. Then for the second type of texture is just a standard shell shader, nothing else. Principal BSDF, shader to RGB, and then the color ramp. And I've used it for all the parts of the tower in just different shades, be it red, blue, yellow, purple. But that's all I have done here. So for this particular scenario, we're going to use red for the tower because it's the complementary color. Everything else in the background is going to be blue. So when we put our main subject as red, it's gonna stand out much nicer. Then the final type of texturing is the 2D map texturing, or just the 2D images. And for them, I have just taken a 2D image of clouds or birds and I've used them as it is. Some of them don't really have any kind of alpha channel, so I just use a color ramp to create the black and white image, and then I just use that as a mix shader so that I can just show the clouds and nothing else. For the clouds, I have also did some extra steps where I have mixed the cloud with a bit of noise with the mapping nodes. So what it does is it just gives this slight painterly look rather than just using the cloud texture as it is, so it matches the whole aesthetic a bit more. Now compositing. Few more things before we go into compositing that I've added in. One is the fog. I've added a very tiny amount of fog using the volume scatter, around 0.04%, and I also added some fake reflections. What I have done is I just rendered out the tower by itself, nothing else, a PNG image. Then I used that image and I just laid flat, so it looks like there's reflection showing on the water, but it's just a fake reflection. Now going on to the compositing itself, there are a few things I've added. One is the lens distortion. Then I've used the RGB curve to create a gradient, so it will add a bit more contrast in it. And then finally box sharpening, and then the glare node. I'll put it up here on the screen so you can see what I have done. But yeah, it's not really that much of a difference. It's just tiny amount, just adding a bit more of a contrast and a bit more of a bloom effect. Other than that, nothing much. A few more things that I have done in my or that I would recommend doing whenever you're creating the stylized or you're using the cell shader is give it a bit more color variation. Use any kind of texture map you have. I also use it in my final render. In this case, I use this grunge walk texture, and using the actual texture, I created a mask and I can use 2 different colors for it. Just slight variation, nothing major. It gives a bit more realism, even though it's still stylized, but it looks much nicer rather than having just one plain color all over the place. It can be subjective, it's all your choice, but this is something that I do for all my artworks. I also use the same texture maps to get the reflection and the normal maps connected to the principal BSDF. So you can see there's just slight variation that appears when we try to change the color. Another thing that you might also do, which I have done in my final render, is creating some bubbles in the water body. I've created a lot of these circles using a Voronoi texture, and then I've used the gradient texture and the noise texture to create a mask because I don't really want them to be all over the place. So just to isolate where I want them, I've just used the noise and the gradient texture, and using them I can create subtle water bubbles, or the shine that you always see whenever we see the water from far away, the light reflecting on the water body itself. So you can also add that, or you can just leave it as it is. It still looks nice. So this is it. This is the final result with all the simplifications. I try to even push the boundaries of simplification further. I try to simplify the modeling process, the whole setup, to see how much we can move further from it. And this is the final result of that. I hope that this helps you in your future projects and artworks. If you would like, you can follow me on Instagram. I do post more projects, work in process, and the final result over there. Or you can just leave your comment in the video and let me know what you want to see next. Thank you. Bye bye.